and today we are going to review a resume. And I thought I'll just pull out and give you a few insights around how we could improve a resume and also how a recruiter views a resume. So this is a resume of Samaira, and if you see there's a professional summary here at the top. What's missing here is the bullets. Use of bullets is missing here, which could have really helped in the visibility and readability as well. Here, if you see here, she's mentioned here, I have 8 years of experience. Now, you see, most of these are activities. Now, ideally, what should happen is we should be talking about skills and not about activities. Again, here it is a role. It's again not a skill. So, from a resume point of view, we should always look at what is a skill I would want to highlight. Now, by the third line, she started to mention, HR consulting, executive search, HR policies, and labor relations. And she's also mentioned a little bit around the qualification as well. So this is good, but this could have been obviously presented a little better. If you look at the left-hand side, the name is very clearly visible. There's an address here, which is very good, a contact number, an email. So this is really good. And if you scroll down now on this, you will see here there are certain skill sets or other softwares written here. So, instead of saying technical know-how, this could have been written as softwares, software expertise, and we could have highlighted some of those softwares. Again, some of these are very generic in nature. Unless you're applying for an entry-level job, this may not make much sense. But yes, ERP, for example, and HRIS may be something worth mentioning. If you look at this other side here, you will find the work experience mentioned here with a date here, which is pretty good. Now here it's saying program executive MBA. Now, ideally, what should happen is this is not part of work experience unless a person is working here. And in this case, you see this person is actually working in this institute. So this person is a program executive, an MBA for executives, and is looking after the administration part of the program. So you see a lot of information around the kind of programs. Again, if you see, most of these are verbs here: looking, updating, coordinating. Now, these are all, activities. And activities do not tell much about skills. So ideally, we should talk about skills here. And there's no mention of skills in this entire part till even here. It's only that when you come to this preparation of course materials, including cases. Now, this is a skill which is highlighted here, but the others also could have been, mentioned in the form of a skill. So therefore, here skills would have been much better. Now, you see here, this is really, really long. And ideally we should not be focusing on such a long profile, because it gets very boring and the recruiter would not know where to focus on. Again, lot of verbs here. Skill mention is not here. This is a little bit around, again, activities again. So again, lot of skills are missing from here, and this would be much better if she had actually mentioned skills here. Now coming to the other part, which is the next, if you see here, the last one is any other work as assigned. Now, these are very generic things mentioned, which should have been removed ideally. And a lot of things, for example, looking after immersion related works. In this sense, there's not much of clarity what this means. So, this could have been avoided. And similarly, a lot of other activities mentioned here. You'd rather talk about that, okay, this, the expertise is around admissions, or it's around creating programs or administration of programs. Those things could have been mentioned here. Now, if you come down, you'll see the next one is, an HR role. Now, associate implant, I don't know if this is a designation. If it is, it could have just been made simple and easy to understand. And that could have made it much easier for a recruiter as well. So this one is more an HR role, and there is onboarding, pre-joining activity. Now, these are, again, a lot of these are activities. Now, it's important that we again focus on skills. So the skill, for example, could be employee, engagement, or the skill could be how do you kind of onboard employees, right? HR operations is again in many ways again here skills could have been mentioned. Now maintaining employee life cycle profile. A lot of these, again, you will find they're all very, very simple activities mentioned. Salary costing and HR budget. So HR budgeting could be basically a skill, for example, and payroll could also be a skill, right? So payroll management could be a skill. But the rest of them, a lot of statutory and compliance management could also be a skill. Performance management system, the PMS is also a skill. But a lot of others that you see here, they're not skills. So those could have been changed. Now, if you come down, you'll again find that this is very long in nature. It's a very, very long, and ideally, it should not have more than 5 or 6 bullet points in most of these work experiences. That would have really helped. And the other part is that, the focus should have been more on the skills rather than activities. The next one, again, if you see here, is clearly around this whole, assistant manager academic solutions, admissions process. So this is more an edtech kind of a profile or an education oriented profile. So that's what's being built, and basically that needs to have come through clearly. Now here, handling a team of 6 people, looking after. Now handling a team of 6 people is great, but what's the skill? The skill is team management. So we need to focus on the skill rather than on activities. Screening is an activity, right? Shortlisting employees, you just have to figure out, okay, what's the skill here? Is the skill shortlisting, or is it interviewing? Is it maintaining database of candidates? Now this is also in many ways only an activity. So, and if you come down, there is the next set. So this is important that we should keep this in mind when we are kind of creating these profiles. Again, very long profile here. Lot of activities also mentioned. Meeting up, directing. Meeting up with clients is not a skill. Sales could be a skill. Relationship management could be a skill. So all those things. And again, there is another next experiences here. So all this could have been, obviously could have been shortened up and made it much easier for the recruiter to understand. Here is a legal officer. And again, a lot of skills mentioned here. Skills not mentioned here. Recruitment, for example, is a skill, but assisting in recruitment is not a skill, right? It's an activity. So these are some of the things you could keep in mind when you're creating your profile. And if there is, you can also visit our tool, which is www.paintminds.com, and there you could upload your CV and check out and get a detailed report on where you're lacking. On the education side, again, I think this is pretty much okay in the way it has been mentioned. So this is fine. They put a percentage and year is here, and what institute, what is the qualification. All this is pretty okay. You'll notice here that this 2005 here. So obviously this, this is just hanging in the midair. This could have been made, to tally with the next set of qualification. This is also fine. Now, should you be mentioning the school qualifications? Now, this resume has also gone into page 3 by now. So ideally, I don't think you need to mention all of this. I mean, just your graduation should have been okay. If it's a fresher, then obviously it may make sense. But otherwise, may not be required. Again, some interesting things here mentioned is marital status. Ideally, you should avoid mentioning this. Religion, avoid mentioning it. Nationality, you can if it's required to be mentioned. This last one hereby mentioned, I mean, this is an old format, so you don't require this. You could do away with this as well. So I hope this was useful, and I hope you all can, go back to your profiles and improve on it. And we'll be sharing more such reviews shortly. And so please be tuned and be connected with us. Thank you.